Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see where we're at. Check 1, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Let's go. Let's go, y'all. Welcome to the stream. Let me see. Let me make sure everything is up and running. Good to go. Lux in the building. Joel or Joel is right here in the building as well. Welcome into the stream. I appreciate y'all joining. Thank y'all for tapping into Track Talk today. I appreciate you being here. We're going to get flowing with some music and stuff here in just a little bit. But I would love to chat with y'all for a little bit first. Elle is in the building. Is it Zine? Am I saying that correctly? Harv, Arthur, thank you so much for tapping in today. I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome into the stream. If y'all are coming in for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, talk to me about your music. Let me know what kind of music you make. How long have you been doing that? And we'll get moving with some, or Harvard, is it? Yeah, Harv. Deanie, thanks for tapping in. Joining from the UK. Shout out to the UK. Thanks for tapping in, Harv. Is it Monk? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping into the stream as well. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, let me know where you're from. Let me know if you make music, what kind of music you make. If y'all are over on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream. We'll get moving with some music in just a little bit, but we're going to chat for a little bit first. You can go to my profile, click on the link. The details are there. I'll explain the whole live stream here in just a couple minutes. I'm going to wait for the live to kind of kickstart, make sure all of the different platforms are live, make sure we got everything flowing and moving the way that it's supposed to, and then I'll explain the full structure of the live stream and how we get things moving here. A K-pop singer-songwriter. Let's go, Park. Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. You can. I'll explain it in a second, but if you want to look through details, you can go to my profile and click on the link there. You'll find some details there as well. But I will explain that in the entire structure, the details, kind of the format of this live stream, why we do it that way here in just a few minutes. Is it Sheffer or Sheffer's artist? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping in. Absolutely. If you're a producer, you're an instrumentalist, you're a session musician, whatever it may be, we every single day, John, welcome in. Markeel, welcome in. We live, or Chef. What's up, Derek? Welcome in. Malone, welcome in. Markeel, welcome in. Good to see y'all. Yeah, absolutely. You can send in beats, instrumentals, you know, parts that you played and other songs and stuff like that. We always are going to get a variety of people. We're going to get engineers in here, full-scale producers in here. We're going to get session musicians. We're going to get vocalists and songwriters and beat makers and stuff like that. So we're going to get a little bit of everything. Derek, thank you so much for tapping in, man. It's good to see you in here. I hope y'all are doing absolutely fantastic. Let me just make sure I've got everything moving and grooving here. Absolutely. I got you, man. I'm excited to get that rolling. Baby Blues in the building. Baby Blues in the building. Yeah, give me like 2 minutes, y'all. Give me like 2 minutes. Just get everything updated here, get everything flowing, and then I'll explain the format of the live stream. Blue, I hope you're doing amazing today. Good to see you in here. Oh, hi from France. Can you play Hero by Soprano, please? Welcome from France. I'm so glad you're here. Park, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. We just started, Blue. You are absolutely correct. Just a quick reminder that we are live on all the different platforms too. So we're live on the purple app, the red app. That's where you can see the line, the order, the minimum, everything over there. And hello from Korea. Thank you so much for tapping in, Park. I appreciate it. I would love to visit. My wife and I really want to visit Korea. That'd be fun. And actually, one of my goals, I'm potentially about to start working with a really cool, I think her name, I forget her name. And she just reached out to me, but I might start working with a really cool Korean artist here, K-pop artist here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so. I forgot her name. She just reached out like a couple days ago, so I need to, like 100 jackets here. I'd prefer that than, I'm in Texas, Park. I'm in Texas here in the USA, which is the opposite. It'll be the middle of like December, and it'll randomly be like 92 degrees and like 85% humidity. So sign me up for anything but that. Sign me up. Tatted, welcome in, Brad. Appreciate you being here. Antoine, I appreciate y'all tapping in a lot. Anything but that. Anything but that. My wife and I really like the cold. In fact, even here we want to get out of the US eventually. Who knows where life takes us and where we actually end up, but we want to leave the U.S. I think at some point, at least, travel and move around a little bit. But at least while we're in the U.S., we would like to move north at least. I prefer that it's a little bit. I prefer that it's a little bit cooler. We both like cooler weather, but are stuck in San Antonio, Texas, where it is just brutally hot and humid, and the allergies are undescribably terrible constantly. Tormenta, thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Would also like to know what you think about my writing skills since you, let me back it up, heard 2 songs from me now. Yeah, what I could do is even when I like get into like the main structure of the song too, I can give you like a written breakdown as well. When we start going through that stuff too. Tormenta, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. When I get into like the file and stuff like that, I think you're a good writer, man. I think it's got a ton of potential, West Falls in the building. In like 2 minutes, let me just update a couple things in my DAW. Marty, thank you for tapping in today. If y'all are on TikTok, tap the screen, share the live. Don't forget your heart me. It does really help out the live stream. Let me update a few things over here. Yeah, you definitely can. I'll explain everything in like 2 seconds. Let me just get Pro Tools updated over here. I need to get this reset. Hey, sounds good, Markeel. Sounds good, man. I'm excited to get your track moving, man. Let me see. This last project, this last 10 session project I was working on just kicked my ass, man. It knocked me out. It set me back months, to be honest with you. I'm never doing that again. Never doing that again. Not in that capacity. That messed me up. Okay, I had this crazy project that I was working on. Had like 10 artists on it, and it was a whirlwind. Okay, let's see. Hey, yeah. Leisha, welcome in, Leisha. Appreciate you tapping in. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. Let's go ahead and start diving into some music. Let's get some submissions rolling. We'll get things flowing here for the consultation side of what we do. So let me get my spiel here and let y'all know kind of what in the world is going on. Neil, welcome into the live stream as well. For those of you who have never been here before, Brooklyn, welcome in. I see your name popping up too. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. I'm glad that y'all are here. Thanks for choosing to tap into the stream and actually deciding to join the chat. And even if you're lurking in the background, I appreciate that y'all are here. But if you would like to submit your music, I will get into all of that in a second, but let me go to explain the format and the structure of this live stream. This is Track Talk. What we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute long form detailed consultations on the structure of your music. This is not a review. There is no quick review. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. Like I said, this is a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen. We'll usually go through your song 2 to 3 different times over that 20 to 30 minutes to really get into the details, the nuances of what you're doing practically and creatively within your music. This is, we're going to, again, really dive into mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, structure, things of that nature, to hopefully give you some specific, professional and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. Like I said, it's not a review. I'm not here to, throw you a trash or pass rating or poll. This is not what we do here. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm also not here to hype you up. I'm not here to give you exposure. If that happens, if the algorithm does something fantastic, awesome. I love it when that happens for y'all, but that's not the structure of what we do. It's not my priority. The priority is really digging into the details and the nuances of what you're doing creatively. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 years. I'm also a classically trained pianist, so the whole structure and perspective of this live stream is pointed in that direction. Like I said, I want to give you tools. I want to give you actionable feedback. I want to give you a really detailed breakdown and consultation on what you're doing. Every single song or beat or instrumental that we listen to, we take about 20 to 30 minutes to break it down. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. All of the details are there, so just please read through and follow all of the details to follow the steps to submit for a consultation, and we'll get you in line. We'll get you ready to go. You'll send your music there. Is it AIP? AIP or Ape? Let me know. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you tapping in. Stefania, welcome in. Be more, welcome in. But yeah, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow all the steps there, and we'll get you in line. We'll get everything you need. If y'all do want to see the line, the order minimum, stuff like that, go to the red app or the purple app. Either one of those. We got to use code here because TikTok's a little limited sometimes. So go to the red app, YT. It's where you watch videos, and you can see that we're live on those platforms as well. You can see the line right there. Askry, welcome in. Thank you for the thank you for tapping into the stream. I appreciate you being here. But that is Track Talk. That's what we do here. So if you are interested in getting a detailed long form consultation, once again, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow all the steps, and we'll get you up on the board ready to go. All right, let me double check a few things here before we get rolling. Let's see. Raquel, welcome in as well. I really appreciate you being here. And in the next couple minutes or so, we'll dive into some music and we'll get a couple things. I'm going to get a couple people up here from yesterday. Noam, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Beautiful. Chris is in the building. Kienzo, you said you just sent in your song. I'll double check here in a second. Just make sure that you do follow all the steps. I'll get a lot of emails over the course of the live as well. Chris, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Gavin, welcome into the stream. I appreciate you being here. I'll get a lot of emails over the course of the live. I just want to make sure that you did read through and follow all the steps. If you do read through and follow all the steps, I'll typically get notified so I can get you straight onto the board. Basha, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Y'all keep tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people, and we'll get flowing with some music here in a couple minutes. Okay, let me get a couple things update. I think I did just get your email. Let's see. Is it Rifer Major? Welcome in. I appreciate you tapping into the stream. Welcome to Track Talk, y'all. We're gonna get flowing here in a second. Hey, I gotta overcome these allergies, y'all, because it is it's beating me up, and I haven't been able to sing for 3 months, even though I'm doing so much. I haven't been able to sing for 3 months, and it's driving me nuts. Online, welcome in, Papa Online. I appreciate you tapping in. Major MJ, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that as well. Chris, if I didn't thank you already, thank you for the follow. I just saw the pop-up right there. Larry, thanks for tapping into the stream. Once again, if y'all are coming in for the first time, I would love to hear where you're from. I would love to hear if you make music. What kind of music do you make? Get to know each other just a little bit if you're interested in anything. And of course, if you are wanting to get into the consultation side of things, which we'll do over the course of this live, which will be a little bit shorter today, maybe an hour to 2 hours, something like that. I'm only going to take a handful of songs, like literally a handful of songs, because each of these breakdowns are usually 20 to 30 minutes long per consultation that we do. So if you want a live stream consultation and hear all that info is at my profile, if you click on the link, and then but I'm literally only gonna do a couple. That's all I got time for. Let's see. I gotta go out of town tomorrow. Laisha, welcome in. Am I saying that? Is it an I or an L? I can't see from here. But thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Ooh, I got an email from Jaia. Let's go. Just got an email from you. Kenzo, thank you so much for the follow. Here from SA. Big up to you, bro. Major, what SA? Because I'm in an SA, but it might be a different SA from you. Are you from South Africa, or are you in San Antonio as well? There could be two very different, online. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Which SA? Just so I know. Either one is great. I'm glad you're here, and I appreciate you tapping in. You in my SA or a different SA? Arkel, thank you for tapping in. Eric, I appreciate you joining. South Africa, well, welcome from South Africa. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you tapping in today. Okay, I got your email, Jaia. I got your email. Let me refresh over here on the other website really quick so I can make sure credits are coming in. Is there a way to send you not upload a track? I have one that is not sure if I should upload it. Yeah, absolutely. If anybody does want to submit a track, most people send in unreleased music. Most people. A lot of we've been doing this live stream in the consultation format that we do here for over 3 years. That we've been literally listened to thousands of songs at this point. So most people send in unreleased stuff. So if you have an instrumental, a beat, you've got a song. If you're an artist or vocalist, songwriter, and you have songs that are unreleased, you're unsure about mix, you're unsure about production structure, sound design choices, you're unsure on songwriting, stuff like that. That's why a lot of people come into this live stream in the first place. They're really trying to get stuff like a final listen. Of course, people do send release stuff, and that happens all the time throughout the course of the live. We'll definitely hear some songs that have been released, but a lot of people send in stuff that's not finished for the purpose of getting like one more set of ears on the track before they send it to distribution or send it to their engineer or like start to work on their own mixing and engineer and stuff like that. So that is kind of the purpose of this live stream. Again, like I said, what's up, Lotus? Welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in today. Most people, send in a release, but people, if you do have a release track, you can definitely send it in if you would like to as well. Okay, let me double check a few things. Mossy, welcome into the live stream. I appreciate you tapping in. I'm in, but where should I send it though? Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through it and follow the details. If you do read through and follow all those details, you'll be ready to go. There's an email that you can copy over right at the top, and then you can scroll down in order to send in. If you follow all those details, I'll get notified. We'll get you up on the board. We'll get you ready to go. And then Jaia, just let me know. Oh, Jaia, got you. Okay, sorry, I was going to say I hadn't gotten notified. As soon as I said that, I got notified. Let's get Jaia up on the board, ready to go. It's always a treat when we get to hear Jaia. Jaia, let me know what we're listening to today. Let me know if we're doing a production. Is it something that's got your voice on it? Let me know. But yeah, if anybody does want to submit, just go to my profile and click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details. Masi, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a productive day, a nice productive day. I appreciate you asking. Choosing songs for my mini album is so hard. I have so many to choose from. I feel that. I feel that. A lot of people, like I mean, even like in the major spaces, there a lot of times they're choosing when they're choosing like a 12-track album, a 15-track album, something like that. They're a lot of times choosing between like 100 songs. Sometimes like they've. It's not like they're like, I have 15, should I drop it to 12? Or they only produce 12 for an album. They're usually choosing from like 100 songs, 80 songs, 120 songs, in order to see like what works, what's worth it, testing some stuff on content, testing stuff with the label, and stuff like that. Even testing it on other vocals, other features and stuff like that. Okay, Jaia, let me get you up here. I got you on the board. I appreciate you so much, of course. Acapella, let's go. I like that. All right, let me get you up here. I got you. Beautiful. Fantastic. Dot and Sage, I think I'm saying that correctly. I might probably butchering it, but thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. But if y'all do want to submit music, if you're looking for a consultation, which is what we do here in this particular live stream, if you're looking for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. The line, order minimum, everything is over on the red or purple app. You can see all the details there. You can find all of those at my link as well. But if you're wanting to submit for a consultation, a long form, detailed, multiple listen, 20 to 30 minute breakdown of the structure of your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through it and follow all those details there. Bunny's World, welcome in. Counterfeit Poe, welcome in. What's up, Masi? Let me know. I also make, so you'll hear my voice. It's an acapella small part cover, but I want to do more acapella songs. I love that. Are you doing like chordal structure and like progressions and stuff with your voice, or is it just a lead right now? We're about to dig into it, so that's perfectly fine. We'll just dive in. Yeah, I also make music, and I'm trying to work with other artists. How do you overcome writer's block? What am I talking about? Jesus. How do you overcome writer's block? So I think, okay, this is, I've worked with some really, really talented songwriters in the past, a lot of collaborative writing. I've had some really cool opportunities in the space. For me, and this is actually some of the best songwriters in the world talk about this a lot, that songwriting or like writer's block is not a thing. It's kind of a made up thing. It just means one of two things. You don't have inspiration and you don't have tools. You need at least one of those things in order to overcome that, right? So when it comes to like a block, it's not like you don't have creativity anymore, or you've like run to the limit of your creativity for a second. You need a change of environment, change of pace, change of scenery. You need fresh inspiration, or you need a tool to overcome it. Some of the tools that I like to use in order to make sure that I never have an off day writing, or that I constantly am able to actually like get stuff done as a songwriter, collaborative songwriter, or even in the professional space. I always make sure that I have tools like object writing, peripheral writing, stuff like that make sure that I always have something that I'm writing, whether it's just on paper, whether it's just in notes, whether it's voice memos, whether it's like a 10-minute writing session. I'm always making sure that, like, at least for me now, a couple times a week, that I am flexing the muscle of writing. But if you feel like you're blocked, you need a tool to overcome it. Object writing, peripheral writing is great. Object writing is probably one of my favorite songwriting tools, and I would encourage anyone to do it. I have a whole YouTube video on it, but I need to post more about it. Object writing is phenomenal. There's a lot of tools like that really help you overcome some of those issues where you feel like you don't have that inspiration. It forces you out of it and just gives you a practical thing to do. Because if you're constantly like, I don't know, do I write about love? Heather, thank you for following. I appreciate it. Should I write about love? Should I write about like I'm mad? Should I what should I do? Should I write about the world right now? Acoustic, thanks for tapping in. Welcome in. Sounds good, Blue. Sounds good. You know, like how do I go about this? And it pulls you out of that and says, okay, I am going to write for 10 minutes, open-ended, completely loosely about measuring tape, just whatever, random word generator, whatever's around you. And for 10 minutes, you have to unload all of the information that you have, right? Like all of the, like I'm just going to unload every experience, everything I can think of, the color of it, the way that it looks, the way that I use it, whatever it may be. Like I'm going to unload all of this information for 10 minutes without any restrictions on what hits the page, what hits the notes app, right? And then from there, you can start to find some threads and some inspiration and some interesting stories that make it really, really easy to write songs that are creative and different and feel fresh. Object writing is one of my favorite things in the world. Luda, thank you, or Luda Shai, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you tapping in as well. Kamani, welcome in. Good to see you. My fiance is a musician, so I'm always looking for things he'd find interesting. Thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, Mossy. I have a whole video on it that describes it and also shows it in practice on my YouTube channel. If you want, it's at the profiles, which is also, we're live over there as well if you want to join on that platform. But that video describes, over 20 minutes, like exactly what it looks like to object write, what it looked like for me to do that, and then actually fit that into a song and how I kind of edit it down. I typically use a random word generator when I'm object writing. It just helps things be like very, very loose. So what I do is I get on my phone and I either have like a notebook or like I use the notes app on my, the notes app on my laptop, and on my phone, I'll have a random word generator. I'll hit generate. As soon as the word pops up, I go to the note. I set a timer for 10 minutes, go to the note, and I just unload. And I just, whatever that word generated, I just dump it all into a page, dump it all into the notes app. Once the 10 minutes is done, it's done. And then I dive into what's there, piece some things together, and then you have a really cool structure to work off of. August, please don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, you will get muted, and I do not want that to happen. Masi, I appreciate you so much. I really appreciate that. Kamani, same thing. Don't spam the chat. If y'all do spam, you will get muted. If y'all do want to submit, we're about to get into our first song here. If you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. We will get you up on the board. If you want to check the board or the line, go to the red app or purple app, YT or T. We're live on those other platforms as well. You can find them at my link. And on those platforms, you can see the line, order, and the minimums. I'm only going to be taking like 4 or 5 songs today. It's not going to be very long. So if you do want to submit, just do make sure that you follow all the steps, and we'll get you up on the board ready to go. Once again, if you are wanting to submit, keep in mind that these are 20 to 30-minute consultations. This is not a review. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings or polls. It is a detailed, long-form blue welcome in to the red app, the dark side. These are long-form, detailed consultations. So we're going to dive deep. We're going to spend about 20 to 30 minutes going through your song multiple times to get into your mix, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure, stuff like that. So if that sounds like it would be valuable to you, if that sounds like you would be interested in that, feel free to hang out in the chat for a bit, see what we're all about, understand the structure of the live. But if you want to submit, everything's at my profile. All right, let's get into it. We got Jaia Lewis in the building. This is a buildup of a small part cover I did of one of my favorite songs called Here. This is a song cover I'm considering adding to my mini album I'm doing. Just wanted to hear your thoughts. All right, we got Jaia in the building. June, welcome into the live stream. I appreciate you being here. All right, I'm only going to do a handful of songs, y'all. I'm like maybe like 2 more. Maybe like 2 more. Hold on, it's muted. Give me a second. All right, Jaia, let's go. So this is all a cappella, Jaia.
Not in this room with people who don't even care about my well-being. I don't dance, don't ask. I don't need a boyfriend, so you can go back. Please enjoy your party, I'll be here.
I remember this song.
Oh, yeah. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Myself, what am I doing?
I don't have a whole video of my singing, just a melody I stuck in my head. It is kind of funny to hear because it's just my voice when got you.
Care about my well-being. I don't dance, don't ask. I don't need a boyfriend, so you can go back. Please enjoy your party.
There's some pockets of the harmony in there that are really, really nice. Some other parts of it that need to be tightened up as far as the separation of note through the scale. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. There's some parts of that movement right there even through the chromatic note, that's really nice.
I ask myself, what am I doing here? But really, I would rather be at home all by myself, not in this room with people who don't even care about my well-being. I don't dance, don't ask. I don't need a boyfriend, so you can go back. Please enjoy your party, I'll be here. Oh, here, oh, here. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, here, oh, here. I ask myself, what am I doing here? But really,
Euphoric, welcome
I
in.
would rather be at home all by myself, not in this room with people who don't even care about my well-being. I don't dance, don't ask. I don't need a
Yeah, for sure,
boyfriend,
for
so
sure. One
you
of refining,
can
definitely.
go
Jeremy,
back.
welcome in.
Please
Lilith,
enjoy
welcome
your
in.
party, I'll be here.
Euphoric, if you want us to make, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow the details there.
I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, here, oh, here. I ask myself, what am I doing here?
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Yeah, Euphoric, if you want to submit, get in line with everyone else, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details there so we can get you in line. If you want to see the line, it's over on the red app, YT, and you'll see everything you need there. Okay, so your core melodic structure here is over D sharp minor, right? So you're, even though some of the harmonies are falling outside of that just a little bit, yeah, sharpen it a little bit, 100%. So you're building up this here, oh, here, oh, here. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, here, oh, here. Like it's based off of this D sharp minor, like your initial melody, and then how you walk it down changes a little bit, right? So I would do want to make sure that as you're building an acapella of this, one of the things, Euphoric, thank you for the follow. One of the things that I think you're running into a little bit is you don't have like the bass line progression with your vocal locked in. For most acapella music, this is really important, right? To almost have, this is why you'll have like a bass note that is running that root note for every chord, right? In this case, if you're gonna do like a full step, half step chromatic walk down, having the here, oh, here, oh, here. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, here, oh, here. Like if you're gonna follow that structure down, what you're probably gonna wanna do is follow that low bass line root note with your voice on one thing. Here, oh, here, oh, here. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, here, oh, here. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, here. And then you have another vocal that leads over that. So what I would do, because I think what I'm running into now, as far as hearing the layers as they kind of swirl around, is I'm missing like the grounded element of it, right? Of like where I can hear the chords and I can like hear what your voice is melodicizing over. And right now, I think there's so much movement in all of your lower harmonies and lower melodies there that it's a little bit harder to like distinguish the notes and what you're harmonizing to and what is like the ground floor to that, if that makes sense. Like I still want to hear that chromatic walk, and then you would probably have it here, oh, here, oh, here. Have the third note over that. So I think what you want to do, or this is what I would suggest doing at least, obviously you can do literally whatever you want with this, but what I would suggest is like following the chords, create the chords with your voice, and then jump underneath that or jump over that with your lead vocal to do that lead melody, right? So you're basically creating this, D sharp minor, C, I'm gonna do a little higher. D sharp minor to the C sharp major, walk it down to this like 1/3, and then to the B major underneath the bottom, and then right to the D sharp minor again. So what I would do is recreate the chords. It's interesting because you're actually not going to follow the notes. Like I said, it's going to be here, oh no, no, here, oh here. I ask myself, what am I doing here? But that's like your bass, right? Like that lower voice, even if you're an octave higher than that, however you want to structure it, that is like actually your bass. That's the start of your chord structure there. And then eventually you can build up a couple layers there. Also, how do I get my voice to sound full? How do I get my voice to sound full but kind of far? This is, I think it's going to come partially through your layering and how you position your layering and how you process them. One of the best ways for you to create space is going to be in your positioning and also your reverbs. Like if you set your vocal into a little bit of space, how much you wet that is how much you're going to distance yourself in that space, right? So if I throw it, like, I don't have a reverb on here, do I? Let me see. I'm actually, do I got a reverb on here? Just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. I don't even have any auxes on here right now. Let's see. Oh, that's a doubler. Let's try this. So just so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about too. AG, welcome in. Thank you so much for tapping in. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, we're going to keep going with some music in a sec. If anybody wants to submit, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all the details. You'll see all the details that you need right there. Okay, so let me kind of show you what I'm talking about here, right? I'm just going to drop an aux in my vocal here that has a reverb on it so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. And then, here. And this is, what aux is this? This is just aux 1, I think. All right, so like if here's some, no, that's a reverb. Hold on one second. Here. I ask myself. That's, man, it's so catchy that it already is making. Wait, what's going on here? Hold on one second. Here. Why isn't this working for me? Give me a second, and then I'll in the mix, especially if a client came with a 2-track. Got you, Mossy. I'll answer that after I do this. Let me just add this aux really quick. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I got you. I'll fix this up for you so I can explain much better what I'm talking about. Let me just, or actually I can do this too. Boom, baby, there we go. Switch to DAW, there we go. Okay, let me, we're gonna add a reverb down here. We're adding it on an aux, so you have a little bit more control. And let's go ahead and just label this reverb, and it's reverb, beautiful. Okay, so now what we can do here is we're gonna come out of this. I don't need that send. So we're gonna come down here and we're gonna go to reverb and stereo. Now this is my Valhalla. Boom, there's my voice. Grady's in the building. It's like I'm announcing like at the rodeo or something. Mossy, thank you for the follow, right? Okay, so this is dry, right? This is really, really dry. Obviously, there's no effects on here whatsoever, right? Super, super dry. If I want my vocal to sound more far away, if I want to create distance, obviously the more that I set this back, the more this doesn't feel like it's in your face. This is exaggerated. I'm exaggerating on purpose so that you can really easily understand kind of what I'm talking about. If I crank this reverb, it sounds like I'm, 200 feet away talking to a mic in a huge system. Now this sounds like I'm right here in front of you, right? Like this is, it's ridiculously catchy, Blue. It's crazy. C8 100. Are you talking about the Shure C800? C8 100? I don't have personal experience with it, but if that's what you're talking about, but I do know someone who has it, and they like it. I don't think it's anything special. I think it's a decent mic I think it's what, like $400, $500, something like that. I know some people that like it, and but I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's special. I think it's fine if that's your budget and that's what you're looking for. Then I think it does a good job for the price. There's a lot of, I think Lewitt has some great microphones in that range as well, like the 440s, and some of the ones that are a little bit higher than that. I think they have a 540 around that price range as well. I think those are great for the price. Loudman Audio has some great microphones in that price range as well. Yeah, it depends on your budget, depends on what you're looking for. Most mics are good mics. You know what I mean? Like cheap mics can be good mics. They have their downfalls, they have their issues. And then they have what serves you in your projects and your voice and your sources. And then some that don't, right? I mean, like some people like love U87 AIs, right? The $3,700 microphone. Some people hate them. It's a very polarizing microphone, right? It just really depends on what are you looking for? What are you trying to do? What sounds good with your vocal, your source, your environment that microphone is in and stuff like that. Really just depends what you're looking for. What about the SM7B? I have an SM7B. Again, same thing. It's not a great sounding microphone, but it does what a microphone does, and it captures audio, right? So the reason why I enjoy the SM7B, which I've had for like 10 years, the reason why I like it is it's good in like places where you need a little bit more rejection, right? It's a hypercardioid dynamic microphone, so you do need a preamp for it. I use a Triton Fathead inline preamp for it to give it a little bit of a boost in decibel, so that has a little bit more loudness to it to get it back up to level. You can use a cloud lifter, Fathead, whatever you want to do. But it's, it's a fine microphone, but it's like dull and mellow, but it handles sound really well, right? So it's like dull and mellow and dark, even with you flipping the switches on the back, but it captures audio, right? But since it's a hypercardioid dynamic microphone, it's not nearly as sensitive as a large diaphragm microphone like this. So it's not nearly as sensitive. So if you're in an untreated or largely untreated space, something like an SM7B can be nice, in the same way like a 57 or 58 can be. It can be a nice microphone for what you're talking about. You're still talking about $400 or $500 overall. You know what I mean? What is the purpose of a preamp? So the preamp is just going to be part of your gain staging. So if you need higher amplitude, if you need obviously more loudness out of your signal, and it also can involve coloring your signal as well. Like if it's a transformer preamp, like a 1073 or something like that, you can push your gain in that. You can push that preamp fairly hard and get some like really musical, very tasteful saturation. One of the reasons why the Neve 1073 is so popular. And then there's other preamps, like an ISA, like a Focusrite ISA that are super transparent. They're really clean, and that's why people have them. So you can push the gain. You can increase gain by 40 dB, 20 dB, whatever you need, and it's going to stay pretty clean, pretty, not a whole lot of like self noise and stuff like that. Hacks, thanks for tapping in. It is a Neumann. It's a Neumann M147 tube. Neumann M147 tube. But yeah, that's yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details. I'm only taking a handful. I might take like a couple more songs, like very, very few more songs. I'm not going to be on for very long. Okay, that being said, let me get into this. Let me keep going on the song right here. We're doing these long form consultations. So that's what I'm talking about. Let me get back over here. Boom, and we're back. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Blue is creating space with your reverbs. I think I have a similar one. Yeah, this is modeled off of some of the circuitry in the U47. So it's an M147 tube. It's a great microphone. I like it. It's not, people don't talk about it a whole lot, but it's a great microphone. I've had it for a couple years now, and I have zero issues with it. I think it's a fantastic tube mic. It's really, really well done. But yeah, it's a cool mic. All right, let me double check a few things here. Okay, let's keep it going. I want to get back into this cover. Yeah, I love it. It's silky smooth. Silky smooth. I like it a lot. All right, Blue, I'm going to run this back from the top. But like I said, we're off that D sharp minor, doing the walk down. The thing I want you to prioritize is actually following the progression for some of your like root vocals, so that it is following the progression, because this is an a cappella structure. That way you, as a listener, you're grounded, right? As a listener, you're not just having all of these like moving parts and all of these flowing melodies that are, they're pretty sometimes, but ends up, causing you to feel a little bit anxious because there's no like grounding structure underneath it that feels really, really locked in. It feels really cohesive. You've got to have the foundation before you can build on top of it. So in your case, doing an a cappella record, you're going to want to make sure that you do have a foundation of at least that root on here, following the chromatic down, right? Like you want to make sure that foundation is there, and then if you want to build other melodies and other harmonies on top of that, prioritize at least that. And then if you want depth and space, you can utilize your positioning, your levels, reverb, compression, and stuff like that as well to push things forward in the mix, right? Obviously, the more that you like tighten dynamic range and increase your makeup gain, that's going to kind of push that vocal forward. It's going to feel a little bit more punchy, a little bit more forward in the mix. But you can also use EQ, use compression, use reverb to set things back in space, and your positioning as well to set things outside of that vocal. All right, so just being really strategic with some of your like foundational processing to make sure that you're not all of the vocals are forward, all the vocals are in the middle, and then it just feels like a blob of noise in the middle of the mix, and you're losing a lot of your clarity and distinction and stuff like that. Okay, let me run it from the top. We'll just chop through a few things. Obviously, it's a fairly simple structure here as far as we go, because those things to me are really, 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 really valuable, because if those aren't there, then it really doesn't matter how well you mix the vocal. It's gotta be pretty clean right there down the middle. Let me double check something real quick. Let me see over here. Got you, Nate. I got you, man. Thank you so much for the submission, man. Nate, it's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Let me get you on the board. Nate Holmes in the building. Let's go, Nate. Love when we get a Nate Holmes track. I do be moving a lot. It's it's all right. And remind me really quickly, Jaia, how you're recording. Like how you're tracking your vocals, just really quick. Oh, dun, 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 dun. Flashback. Thank you so much for tapping in. If anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details there. I'm literally only going to take like 2 more songs. So it's not going to be a very long stream today. It's going to be pretty short and sweet. Like 2 or 3 more songs. Do I need to get a preamp if I already have an interface to record with in the first place? You don't need to, but it can be very beneficial. The preamp is probably the first thing that I would update, even over your microphone. I think unless you have a really shitty microphone, I think a preamp is probably the most important, like quality, determination in your music. So if you have a really cheap preamp and cheap conversion and stuff like that, then having a higher quality preamp, higher quality interface that has better conversion and stuff like that to digital, right? The conversion is taking your analog signal, turning it into digital. If that's low quality, then what you put in is not what you're getting out, even though that's very subtle. So, I mean, it can be valuable, of course, but I would, you don't need it. I mean, if you're just recording into a Scarlett, you're recording into an M Audio, you're recording into like a Euphoria or something like that, then you can do that. And that's fine, right? I mean, when I first was working in music, like everything that I did was just through cheap interface. I've had like 12 different interfaces. Like I just, you just do what you got to do. If you want to upgrade, then upgrade your preamp, because that will bypass, when you plug that into your interface, you will bypass the preamp in your interface. So if you have like a Scarlett 2i2 or something like that, which can sometimes have a noisy preamp, especially if it's a 3rd gen or earlier, then getting a decent, like a decent preamp can make a big difference. It really can. Nate, I was just talking earlier. I got you. You're up on the board, ready to go. Buddy, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the steps. We'll get you up there. I'm going to already raise the minimums, though, just because I literally don't have a lot of time. And I really only have like a few more tracks that I can get to today. Okay, so I think I got through most of what I need to go through with you, Jaia, but let's chop through a couple things just to kind of make sure.
You can go back, please enjoy your party, I'll be here. Oh, here.
I mean, like your lead vocal here is really, really nice. I gotta make sure my spacing is good. Yeah, proximity control. Mossy, I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow because I gotta go out of town to pick up a rack actually. So I gotta go out of town tomorrow, and I've got a couple other things. I might go live tomorrow, maybe Sunday. Weekends are iffy. I'm usually live in the afternoon. It really depends on kind of my schedule and the work that I have. So I typically do these live streams after I'm finished with all of my, project work for the day, session work for the day. So it's usually a couple hours after I get done with that and try to take a handful of songs, sometimes longer. Like I've done some really long streams, just kind of depends on if I finished a mix in the morning or, a session work in the morning, and then I can get on for a bit. But I will probably, maybe we'll be live for a little bit tomorrow. I'm just not positive. Typically every day during the week though, but this last week I had to finish up a couple big projects for some artists. And so I wanted to prioritize doing that. So I only streamed, I think, 3 or 4 times this week. But yeah, if you want to submit, you can go to my profile, click on the link. Just please check the line on the red app, YT, first, so you can see the orders and minimums. Let me dive into this so we can finish this up. On Voloco on my phone with the mic. Okay, got you. Remind me of the mic. It's just like a USB-C mic, right? Just going straight into your phone.
I ask myself, what am I doing?
I want to get a little bit more. Now, obviously, this is your raw vocal. So, beyond reverb and like, chorus and stuff like that. This is like a raw vocal. There's no tuning on this. This is a raw vocal. I would love to get a little, am I doing here? A little more pointed with some of those melodies too. And this is where like comping and actually doing multiple takes can really be helpful, especially if you're going to compartmentalize your layers a little bit better. Like we talked about, doing the low root note, doing the 3rd harmony, like building the chord with your vocal, then doing a harmony, or then doing the melody, then a harmony to the melody, right? But the foundation is really clear. I want to get a little bit more pointed, a little bit more intentional with how you slide into those notes. What am I doing here? To get those really like smooth and really clean and clear. We're undershooting a couple of the top bends right there, and we'll love for those to be a little bit more pointed and a little bit more intentional, because you do have a great voice. And then same when we get into like the layers here. If those layers feel too loose, timing wise, pitch wise, then it will start to sound noisy, and you have too good of a voice for us to just have a noisy vocal production. And then again, like we talked about, some of the vocal mixing stuff we mentioned earlier can help with that. Like, pulling back some of those layers, positioning better, creating a little bit of space. Obviously that can definitely be helpful, but I want to make sure, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. I want to make sure that what you're actually doing as at the front of that vocal with that lead is a little bit phone with a mic. Oh, straight into your phone. Okay, beautiful. I mean, that's. I can't wait for you to get a mic, Blue. I can't wait for you to get a mic. South Africa, so I don't want to miss your next live. Mossy, I'm not positive on the time. I'm Central Time. So it's usually afternoon Central Time. So look up when. Tomorrow will be, if I go live tomorrow, it will be later. It will be later. Just because I have to drive 2 hours at a time to pick up a rack, and then I won't be back until then. Then I got to work on some other stuff. So, I'm typically live around like 2 to 3 p.m. Central Time. So look up whenever that is, right? 2 to 3 p.m. Central Time is typically when I'm live. It changes every once in a while though. Okay, let's get a little deeper into this real quick. So you did, I don't need a boyfriend. All of those movements right there, beautiful. I mean, you have some harmonies in here that are really tight. Those are beautiful, fantastic, fabulous. It's positioning here, again, talking about clarity, creating depth, is getting those vocals out of the way. Right now, they're all right here, right? They're all right here in front of you. So you have your lead vocal, it's stacked with your layer, it's stacked with this, and it's stacked with this. They're all kind of right here in front of you, coming at you right down the middle. We need to open that up, right? We need to get like the lead vocal down the middle, and then we need to open up these other layers. So take that, even just taking that vocal that you have as your third harmony in the background, right there, panning it out 10% this way, taking another one of those like third or fifth harmonies on the other side, panning it out 20% this way, starting to just position those layers better will give you more depth, more pop, more openness. So I would definitely prioritize positioning of your vocals, no matter the quality of you recording into your phone and stuff like that. It's going to make a huge difference. Hannah, thank you so much for the follow. If everything's coming at you right down the middle, you're going to step on your own toes a little bit, and you're going to lose separation between some of the different notes that you're hitting and stuff like that, and it's going to start to grate, especially when we get a little deeper in here. Let me see. Some of these run-ups right here, of course. Let me see. Like right there, because the pitch control isn't super sharp right there. In addition, to some of the timing changes right there, they're not super consistent. And so because you have 3 or 4 layers all fighting for that space, and they're all right here, you get a lot of dissonance and like a lot of tension in the vocal that doesn't feel super beneficial to the mix. So I would love to just open up that mix a little bit more, right? Just separate it a little bit, create a little bit more space and separation. Then of course, over time, been working on the spacing, 100%. Yeah, so yeah, get those positioned out. You can probably pull back a little bit so it's easier, because right now they're all the same loudness and the same positioning. So take all of those background vocals, pull them back by like 5 dB. You know what I mean? Like get them out of the way of the lead vocal. So if your lead's, no, I can't do that. But if your lead's in the, what I was like, how do I show this? If your lead's in the middle, you know what I'm talking about. Then position your other vocals to the outside, like leads right here, have some vocals out here, so you can open up the spacing just a little bit more, and then pull those backgrounds back by like 5 dB, 6 dB to allow us to really easily hear what the lead is. Because if they're all the same loudness and all the same position, all the same space, then you're just starting to hear different notes and a lot of rub and some pitch issues and stuff like that. And I want it to feel a little bit more open, clear to hear what the lead melody is. And then in tandem with that, you hear a clear lead melody. It's supported by your layers. And underneath it, you have the here, oh, no, no, here, oh, no, here. Like, you were hearing that like melody structure underneath for the progression really distinctly and really clear. Jason, thank you for the follow. Then I feel like you'll be in a much better space. It'll feel way sharper, way sharper. Let me hear this outro here just really quick, and then we'll move on. How long have you been doing a production? This is so cool. Thank you for tapping in, Hannah. I really appreciate you being here. I've been producing since I was, probably for like 19 years at this point. 18, 19 years that I've been producing, but professionally, I've been doing it professionally for the last 14 years or so. I work full-time as an engineer, producer, and session musician. So that's kind of the perspective, the structure of the live is just offering some of that background, I'm a classically trained musician. So offering some tools when it comes to like building out structure for your vocals, your songs, mix and master details, sound design choices, things like that. Songwriting, it just kind of depends on who's here. Every artist comes in for a different reason. So if you're here for songwriting, you're here for structure, you're here for, I can't figure out my vocal mix or whatever it may be, we'll dig into each of those areas and just use my ear training and use my, the stuff that I've done over the years to hopefully offer some specific actionable feedback on your music. So yeah, that's the full structure here. We've been doing this for like over 3 years now that we've been doing this live stream, that we've been doing these consultations here on the live stream. It's been fun. Look, just met some really, really incredible people. Okay, let me hear the outro really quick. What am I doing here? You hear some of those walk-ups. Da, 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 da. I want those to, am I doing here? I want to get that like that melody structure and the pitch control there a little bit tighter. Da 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 da. I don't know here. I don't know here. There's the chromatic. I ask myself, what am I doing here? I want to get those movements need to be a little bit sharper. If they're floating halfway between a note and then you have four other melodies, right? Or four other harmonic structures there that are also floating a little bit away, all positioned in the middle once again, that's where it's gonna be like, there's a lot of tension to it, a lot of dissonance, right? So if you can target a little bit better, like comp those in a little bit better, even though you're just recording into your phone, right? The way that you treat recording into your phone is the same way you'll treat them like going into a studio or getting your own setup, right? So bring the same level of intention, the same level of like passion and support for what you're doing in order, or when you're tracking through your phone, just straight into Vocalo, I think is what you said, right? Or Voloco. Bring that same level of intention. Like imagine you're recording at a studio, breath control, proximity control, layering, position, good tracking. If you miss a note, retrack it again, comp a little bit better, right? Bring that same level. What's up, Laura? Thank you for tapping in. Bring that same level of intention and structure when you're recording into your phone. I think you'll be in a really, really cool space. Y'all show some love. That's the family right there. Jaia, we love and appreciate you. You're amazing. I really, really appreciate just the creativity that you have. I love that you're working through some of these covers as well. It's always fun. I've heard a couple of your productions more recently, so I've been excited to hear more of your vocal. And I really think that if you can set this foundation with a little bit more intention, you'll really be able to open up, that voice and really open up the structure. And then, of course, I am very excited for you to get yourself a mic. I'm not here to tell everyone to spend thousands of dollars on music equipment. You don't have to do what I've done. But like even just something really, really simple, even just getting yourself like a Volt and an LCT 240 Pro, $250 total. You can use USB-C into a device or an iPad or computer or something like that. Something like that alone, I think would really, really, really treat your vocal well, because you do have a really cool voice. It's very warm. It's very easy to listen to. So I would love to hear that captured with a little bit higher quality, of course. But y'all show some love. That's the family. That's Jaia Lewis right there. So please show some love to the family. I mean, what capacity? I would love to offer a tip. Actually, give me a moment. I need to go set out some food. I need to turn the oven on, go set out some food. I will be back in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. I gotta go get dinner prepped so that I am not eating at like 10 o'clock. Since this ADHD will just like forget to eat. So let me give me a second. And then Laura, give me a little bit more of a specific on like what beginner at what and kind of what you're looking to accomplish, and that would probably determine the direction that I point you in. Okay, and if you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details. We'll get you up on the board. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, I'll be right back, y'all. Right back. Y'all keep tapping the screen too. Stuck in a corner, 7 waves marching in order, solitude louder than jet planes. All it took for me to be sane.
escaping. No one can blame me. Born to run, but can't find my footing. Shed a tear while no one's looking.
Sorry about that to y'all. Sorry. All right. Let's get in there. We got some music to get to, y'all. So let's dive in here. Nate, let me know if you're in the chat. Let me know if you're in the chat. And then Betsy, if you do want to submit, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all the details here. Nate's in the building. Let's go. Okay, let's sorry, I'm in the middle of trying to get dinner ready at the same time. I'm like doing all this after projects and stuff, so I'm all over the place. So I apologize for that. Nate's in the building. Okay. Jack, thank you so much for tapping in as well. Jack in the Butt, appreciate you being here. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details. But y'all, please check the line first over on the Red app, YT. That way y'all can see the line, the order, the minimum. Blue said, I can't wait to add it to my mini album, and I can't wait for you to hear it. But I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Anytime, Blue. I really appreciate you as well. Thanks for tapping in today. Okay, let's see. Nate Holmes in the building. Let's go. I'm starting on production since I don't have a huge support on my music. Okay, so are you asking kind of like how to get started in production? What you should start with. Also, let me know what you have so far. Like, do you have a DAW? Have you chosen a DAW or anything yet? Let me know as well. Okay, hold on. I gotta do my puzzle on here. Give me 1 second. And then Nate, we're gonna get into your music, man. I'm so excited to listen to it. We got Nate Holmes in the building. This is called High Stakes, extended version. Nate, give me all of the details. All of the details. Talk me through. Let me get this download. If you haven't heard Nate's music before, you are in for a treat. This is a great artist right here. Ryan Hill, welcome into the live stream. I really appreciate you being here. Let's dive into it. I'm kind of a little lost. Okay, let me know if you have a DAW, Lar. I'm going to get into the song. Let me know. Let me know if you have a DAW already, and let me know if you do have a mic, do you have an interface. Let me know what you do have, and then we can talk through some of those details once I play through the song once. Written, produced, and performed by Nate Holmes. Let's get into it, man. How deep are you into the process? Like, is this mastered? Is it already in distribution? Stuff like that. Let me know. B, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board. I literally only have time for like one more song after this, so I might take one more. It's a short live today, short and sweet. All right, this is High Stakes Extended Edition by Nate Holmes right here in the chat. That's the family. Let's dive in. Blue, Blue, are you still in the chat? Let me know if you're in the chat, Blue, really quick. If you're not, there's no worries. I just want you to hear these harmonies. Because this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Dun, 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 dun. I have to go to sleep. Nice to hear your voices. Hey, thank you for tapping in. I really appreciate you being here. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. As Jesse, any genre, any level of preparedness. Absolutely no genre bias here at all. Most people send a release. Most people send in stuff that needs work because that's kind of the point of being here. So yeah, absolutely. If you have something that you're working on, you can send it in. I have time for like maybe one more track after this. So if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. But if you're going to submit, just make sure you check the line first. The line is over on the Red app, YT. We're live over there. That's where you can see the line, order, minimum, stuff like that. I don't have a whole lot of time today, so I'm going to probably take just one more song here. Okay.
What kind of love is this? Show you all my cards, I'll take the risk.
Go to my profile, click on the link. Real quick, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the details, but definitely check the line first. You don't put it in the chat. B, I don't want you to spam the chat because if you do, you will get muted, and I don't want you to get muted. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. Just read through and follow those details. If you want to see the line, which I would encourage you to do because I don't have time for a whole lot today, so I want everyone to be up to date. You can find that on the other platform that we're live on, the Red app or Purple app, YT. Use your imagination. If you do that, you'll see all the details that you need there.
Just for it.
Remind me, Nate, remind me really quick on what you're recording into really quick as well.
So you call it.
Beautiful harmonies. Aries, welcome in. I appreciate you being here.
Don't vote on me. Ain't no second chance. What's on the table? Oh, ain't no alibis. What's on the table? No second tries. The odds are forever in your favor.
No problem. There's never any pressure. The way that we structured this too is hopefully that through the course of like doing consultations with other artists, the goal is that we do it in a way that everybody can learn from that experience as well. So if there's ever any pain points in your music, hopefully we talk about it in a way that is, easily digestible for you as well. So you might have a pain point in something that you're doing that maybe we address with another artist as well. So there's never any pressure to submit, just for people that want to get the full, 30-minute consultation on here.
It's on me.
Logic, Focusrite, Neumann. Okay, cool.
Trying to make a fool out.
Andre, welcome in.
All I need is my queen. Yeah. So you call it, call it, call it. Are you all in, all in, all in? Don't vote on me. Oh, ain't no alibis. Hats on the table, no second tries. Oh, ain't no alibis. Hats on the table, no second tries. Oh, ain't no alibis.
Did you engineer this yourself as well?
No second tries.
Great voice, man. Okay, nice.
You should bet the over on me. Come get under me. You should bet
Soundscape, welcome in.
the over. Come get under me. You should bet the over on me. The over.
Great structure. I love this bridge. What's up, Edward? Welcome in. Big Country, welcome into the live stream as well. Appreciate y'all tapping in.
You can try
Hope y'all are doing amazing today.
on the table. Oh, ain't no alibis. Hats on
Thank you for the follow.
table, no second tries.
Get down to the rhythm.
Okay. Okay. Let's go, Country. Really interesting production structure too, man.
You should bet the over. You should bet the over. Come get on me. You should bet the over on me. You should bet the over on me. You should bet the over on me. You should bet my love is on the line. You should bet my love is on the line.
Let's go. Y'all show some love to the family. Show some love to the family. That is Nate Holmes right there in the chat. Y'all show some love to Nate. Nate's been here for a minute, man. He's been in this community and a part of these live streams for years at this point, man. I've absolutely loved your absolutely have loved to see your growth and your creativity, man, over the last couple years. It's been absolutely amazing. So y'all please show some love to the family. Nate Holmes, let's dive in. Let's get into some details. Ara, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Every single one of y'all that have followed. Okay, I want to dive into a couple quick things because you have great structure here, great musicianship, really fun production, harmonies, 10, you know what I mean? Like, just layers, movement, ad-libs, beautifully structured. I love your production elements, man. Your sound design choices are chef's kiss. Absolutely beautifully done. Malice, welcome into the stream. Love so much about what you're doing. The thing that I'm running into is actually vocal quality on the lead vocal. I know you're recording on were you recording on a 102 or what are you recording on? I know you said you're recording on a Neumann into a Focus, right? I believe, right? I'm gonna run it from the top. We're gonna dive into a couple things. The biggest thing is like we're getting a lot of clipping. And also what I'm going to assume is like de-reverbing or noise reduction on your vocal that's actually robbing you a lot of like the natural expression of your vocal, some of the natural phrasing and dynamic range and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of limiting the expression and projection of your vocal. Feels very restrained. So I would love to open up that vocal again, regain some life and some vibrancy and get it kind of where it needs to be because the song itself is so vibrant. You know what I mean? Like the song itself is so interesting. It's so fun. It's so dynamic. I don't want anything, especially on the quality side, to hold you back and restrict your exposure in any way. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Damo's in the building. What's up, Damo? How do I send through? I just started a house track yesterday. Go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details there. Please check the line over on the red app first, YT, which you can find at my link as well. That way you can see where the line is and stuff like that. Let me get these updated. Wait, whoops, I messed that up. Give me 1 second. Let me get R3trac back here. Boom. Okay. I got like maybe one or two. I do know that's okay. I know I've like maybe one or two songs left to me. Not a whole lot today. Anniversary 103. Okay, TLM 103. Okay. That's good to know. Let's dive back in. R3trac's in the building. R3trac, you got time? Let me know. I brought a new iMac last year, and it started clipping my higher register notes. There's a bunch in the queue, but I only have time for like one or two more songs. So I'm going to put R3trac up. Check the line over on the red app. Check the line over on the right app. So if you go to YT and you check the line over there, you can see how many songs we have left. You can see the minimum for the consultation, and then we can always get you up there. R3trac, I got you back where you need to be. Okay, it's about the new Mac last year and started clipping. So the Mac is not going to be like the element that is going to instigate that clipping. That's up to you. It's up to you because people skip to the top in order to make themselves one of those two. That's completely up to you. You'll get the same breakdown as everyone. You'll get the same. It's a 30-minute consultation, 20 to 30-minute consultation. So that's up to you. That's up to you if it would be valuable enough, or if you want to be one of those top people submitting. That's completely up to you. I just don't have a whole lot of time today, and I'm going to be out of the city most of tomorrow. I think I got to go pick something up. So, okay, let's get back into the song. So the clipping and stuff like that, that's just going to come down to your gain staging. So I don't know if it's a new driver for the or what you were coming from utilizing the Focusrite, but we need to regain stage, right? Just make sure that you're hitting a little bit lower, probably like new interface. I've had mine for about 6 years. If you find that there's like any issues with the preamp clipping, like if there's some circuitry issues, that's obviously one thing. Start by gain staging. You start by, singing your loud vocals and try to hit like, -12, -15, something like that when you're getting into Logic, right? Make sure that you're not peaking, because what'll happen, typically speaking, is like you'll get into, Logic, Pro Tools, whatever it is. Once you hit the DAW after your conversion, if your, normal average vocals at like -6, -4, something like that, and it's kind of right there towards the peak, and then you have a couple notes where you're hitting a little bit of a higher register, you're pushing with a little bit more support for your vocal, and it starts clipping because your gain staging was already set too hot. Put your averages at like -15-ish, especially if you have really dynamic voice. Like if your voice gets really loud and really quiet, and you feel like you end up like you're singing a little bit quiet right here, and then and you have a lot more expression and projection out of it. Then lower your gain so you're not clipping as much, because that's one of the first things that I heard was like a little bit of a lack of dynamic control, and when you get loud, it's immediately clipping, which just tells me most likely you're hitting your interface a little bit too hot, right? So gain on the interface down just a couple dB, a couple notches right there. See if that doesn't fix it. If you're still having issues, if you put like no plugins on there, you turn it down, you see no red or yellow, and like you're very within control of your gain staging, and you're still getting distortion, then there's most likely an issue either with the preamp itself or even with the microphone. Like the diaphragm of the microphone could be damaged or something like that too, right? So you have a couple options right there. But of course, before you throw out a $1,300 mic or you sell your interface to get something different, check, it could just be one knob, and then you'll be good to go. If you want to check the queue, if you go to my profile and click on the link, go to the Red app, YT. It's where you can watch videos. We're live over there as well. And on that platform, I have the line and the order and the minimums and everything set up. Okay, let's get into it. Where'd the track go? Hold on. Where'd it go? Here we go. We're back. Beautiful.
What kind of love is this?
Because even like right there, what kind of love is this? Even that melodic structure right there, we're already getting a pretty dramatic dynamic range, which tells me we're probably not quite catching with your compression a whole lot. What kind of love is this? On that line right there, you're already getting a big push into some clips, as well as then pulling back pretty quiet. I don't obviously know how your compression is set up currently speaking, but I would suggest that you, especially with a vocal like yours, your vocal is incredibly dynamic, right? Your vocal gets loud and powerful and projected, and you also have a very vulnerable, intimate vocal when you go a little bit lower in your register. So you have such a dynamic voice, you can't really get away probably with just like one compressor, just like catching the peaks of your vocal. You probably need a couple stages of control over that vocal to make sure that it's not leaping out of the mix and clipping, as well as not falling too far back in the mix. Because you could also, hold on, I'm plugging my headphones. You could also be just like clipping your plugins too. So like, obviously the gain staging going into your interface is your priority. It's the first thing I want you to check to make sure you're not clipping the preamp, because once you clip the preamp, then there's nothing you can do past your conversion to take that away necessarily, right? So making sure that you're not clipping going in. If you do have that under control, check like the compressor that you're using. Like if you even have like a 1073 preamp emulation on your vocal from UAD or something like that, and you clip that, you push that too far, and your gain is too high on that, then it's going to do what the 73 does and saturate. It's going to oversaturate a little bit, right? Once it emulates the breakup in the harmonics of that transformer, right? So in that case, check what you got going on in your vocal chain and backtrack. Start at the source, start at your early gain staging, and then go, through every single thing. Neuro Xvox. Okay, cool. I'm not familiar with that, actually. I don't think I've heard of that. Neuro Xvox. Okay, cool. Yeah, so just go back through and just make sure that there's nothing within that chain. So to me, prioritize gain staging, right? And gain staging essentially is just going through the different chain that you have, different points of processing, and restructure your gain, right? So you start with your gain staging early on, going into the DAW, or if you have any outboard stuff, like I have an outboard preamp here, an outboard compressor, making sure that that's dialed in before I hit the DAW. Once I hit the DAW, add your first plugin. If on your EQ, you brighten up the top end and you boost a couple things, maybe pull the output down slightly. You go into a compressor and you control it a little bit so it actually makes it quieter. Maybe push your makeup gain a little bit more, right? Your output gain a little bit more. Just every single plugin, you should be making small adjustments to your gain staging, the stages of your gain, in order to make sure that that vocal is under control and there's not at any point that you're clipping either the plugin, pushing it too hard, or obviously just clipping within your actual track. So to me, that's priority number one. And then number two, really quick, I'm going to skip a little bit farther into this because most of the structures are beautiful. But that's source stuff. This is stuff that if you are clipping, right? If you're clipping early, then unfortunately for you, you need to re-record all of this, right? You need, at least I would prioritize, you need to re-record all of this to make sure that you do have a clean signal all the way through, that you're processing something that's actually dry. You're processing something that actually has, clarity and separation to it. Because right now you're getting a lot of that breakup. Question, number 7 or whatever that we're on here. The next question is, do you have any noise reduction on? Whether it's gating, noise reduction, NS1, you're using RX11 to pull some stuff out. Let me know if any of that's happening on your vocal as well.
Don't fold on me.
No? Okay.
Ain't no second chance. Hearts on the table.
You might be able to get away with leaving your other vocals, your outside vocals, just because they're going to be disguised a little bit more in the mix. Their positioning is it doesn't make it as obvious, right? And they're not nearly as dynamic. Those vocals are a little softer. They're not as expressive, right? They're doing stacked tight third harmonies on the outside. There's not nearly as much projection. So you might be able to get away with keeping those where they are, but your lead definitely needs probably to be retracked.
Hearts on the table.
No. Okay. No noise. Okay. Interesting. So you hear that? Like that. The distance in levels and amplitude right there is really extreme, right? So this is where I want you to have, like I said, you have such a dynamic vocal. You can't really afford, either those vocals need to be on completely different tracks. You have one that's processed a little bit differently, or ideally what I would do is have at least multiple stages of compression on there, right? So on your vocal, for what you're doing, you probably need, I would say, at least 2 stages of dynamic control for your vocal, just because of how you sing, right? Now, if you are, use a loose example. If you're a vocal that doesn't have a ton of dynamic range or a ton of register range to your vocal, you're not singing super high and then super low, but all of your vocals in a pretty similar level of energy and projection, you can probably get away with one good compressor, a stage of control, and then maybe something to catch peaks, and you'll probably be fine. But if your vocal is incredibly dynamic, then we need to help control low-end information, low-level information, low amplitude information to bring it up. And also at the top range, we need to make sure that we're controlling some of those peaks that are jumping out of the mix and causing you to maybe potentially clip in your preamp, but also to clip within the DAW as well. Where should we submit the song? SK, if you would like to submit, I got time for 1 or 2 more songs, maybe 1 or 2 more songs. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details. If you want to check the line, which I would encourage you to do just because the minimums have changed since we're at the end, go to my profile, click on the link there, and then you'll see the red app YT, the other one that you watch videos on. We're live over there. That's where you can see the line over on that other platform as well. Okay. Okay. It's catchy, man. It's catchy. Nicole, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
Hearts on the table, no second tries. The odds are forever in your favor. So place your bets on me. Are you trying to make a full house? All I need is my call it, call it, call it. Are you all in, all in, all in?
I mean, structurally, it's so good. I mean, it's so good. It's that dynamic range, the dramatic dynamic range.
Don't vote on me.
Absolutely, Nicole. That's the whole structure of the live stream. I mean, I can also, if you don't need all of that, and that would be too much, we can always go simpler, right? Everyone's in a different stage. So we've had people come in here. Octonaut, thank you for hopping in over on the Purple app. I appreciate you. We have people that have come in and they've sent in voice memos from them humming a melody at a Starbucks booth and said, hey, can you help me build chord structure on this? I don't know what to do or where to start. And we've had Grammy-winning producers in here. So it's going to be a huge spread of quality and where people are at in their journey. I would say if you're just starting to learn, this is a great place because that is the whole structure of this entire live stream. So we spend each of these consultations for artists are usually like 20 to 30 minutes long. We spend a lot of time listening to the song or production or whatever it is that you're working on 2 or 3 different times in order to actually get into the details of it. Instead of just like listening, say, get a better mix, bro, and have better energy, and then we move on. But actually get into the details and nuances of what you're doing creatively and practically to hopefully give you some actionable feedback. That's fine if my track is already on Spotify. Yeah, definitely. It can be out on Spotify. Most people do send in unreleased stuff. You can, of course, send in released stuff. It gives me an idea of what finished sounds like to you right now. But most people send in unreleased just because a lot of people, especially if you've been in the community for a while, utilize this live stream as like a final stop before they send it to their engineer, before they hit distribution or something like that. So you can do obviously whatever you want. Hey, of course, Nicole, I appreciate you so much. Oct, if you want to submit, you can see the line right here on your platform right here. I only have 2 songs left. There's the minimum on the right side right there. So if you do want to submit, just type !submit right there in the chat on the Purple app. This is not for TikTok. On the Purple app, type !submit right there in the chat and you'll see what you need. Okay, let's get a little deeper here. Let's see.
Ain't no alibis. Hats on the table. No
Colby, welcome in.
Ain't no alibis. Hats on the table. No
You hear that? Hot on the table. You hear it kind of, jump back in the mix for a little bit there. So we need those stages of compression to help control it, right? I typically, and again, you can do this with stock plugins or you can do it with, paid plugins, the UAD stuff. You can do it with, real compressors. But you are going to want to have multiple stages of compression on your vocal if you don't already. I usually suggest that you have something with a fast release and then something with a slower release. How you position your attack kind of depends on your vocal and depends on what you're looking to do. Nicole, you're just asking about compression. Here we are talking about it. I typically suggest that you have multiple stages. One that is maybe going to help control and grab that vocal and pull it down and release it back to the wild very quickly, so that it doesn't interrupt your phrasing at all, but it actually moves it really, really quick. Oh, no worries. No, don't apologize at all, Octonaut. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Yeah, these are long form consultations, Octonaut. It's not like a live music review, so we're gonna spend a lot of time on the song. We're gonna really, really dig into it, into the details of it. But it's not like an exposure live or a review live that's really fast or anything like that. They are 20 to 30 minutes long, multiple listens to get into the details that we're talking about here right now. But yeah, I appreciate you tapping in, man. Feel free to hang out, man. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so the actual structure here. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details and check the line on the Red app YT so you can see the details there. I only got time for like a song or maybe 2 more songs after this. So I would have a faster release, right? So in my case, I typically use a couple different compressors right now, at least on this particular vocal chain, which is kind of just for voiceover, but similar in some ways to what I would put on a vocal, is a 76 and a 2A, right? 1176 and an LA 2A. The 76 I have, I can kind of, well, let me see. I don't even know if I have it on my sign here. Oh yeah, there we go. Let me see. Boom. Let's throw this up. So you can see here. And let me throw it up on the other platform as well. So for my current vocal right here, you can see my attack is pretty slow. My attack is pretty slow here, but my release is very, very fast. So if you look at the meter right here, and I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. I got you. That's why we're here, Nate. I got it right here for you. I got it right here for it. We can track it on the screen, right? So I have a fairly slow attack. Now the attack is how quickly it's going to grab onto that signal. How much time in milliseconds or microseconds, depending on the plugin, how much time is allowed to pass for that signal to come into the mix before it actually compresses based on the ratio that you've set, right? So in this case, I'm punching this pretty hard. Again, this is for voiceover, so I want kind of a crisp, punchy vocal right now. This is not exactly what I would do, but it's a lot of the same. Yeah, go for it, Nate. Also, quick reminder for anybody, is that all of these VODs are saved on the Red app on YT, right? Every single one of these live streams are saved. So if you ever like didn't screen record, you didn't take notes or anything like that, or you just don't want to deal with it, you just want to like be in the moment for the consultation, every single one of these live streams are saved. So you could literally go back as soon as you finish the live stream and just go to YT, the Red app, go back and watch your whole entire consultation, screen record from there, take notes from there, rewind it, go back to it. You don't even have to worry about it. I do that so you don't have to stress about like, am I recording? Will it let me, do what you need to do? Anyways, okay. So this is my first, I have an analog compressor out here that it's touching my vocal at the top, and that's it. It's just kind of telling it to sit down. But this particular one here, you can see my ratio set a little high. You don't have to do this, but again, this is voiceover, so it's a little bit more extreme. Time Mind, welcome in. But I have my ratio set at 8, which is high. I would go 4 if you're going to use something like this. My attack is slow, so my vocal comes in for a moment before it tells it to sit down, right? That makes it nice and punchy. That makes it feel a little bit more forward. It's got a little more grab to it, a little bit more bite to it. Hey, what's up, Time Mind? Good to see you, brother. So I have the attack a little bit slower and I have the release very fast. So it is going to allow the vocal in, control it, and then release it very, very quickly so that my phrasing still feels natural. You're not like hearing the pumping in the vocal, right? The phrasing still feels very sharp and very natural because it's releasing that signal back very, very quickly. And then I just push this input. I'm pushing this input again. In this case, this is a 76 style compressor. This is kind of a Bluey revision A, I believe. Time Mind would know better than me, maybe. I think the Bluey is a revision A, if I'm not mistaken. But this one's got a little bit of bite to it, which is why I really, really like it. It is revision A. Yes. I love it when I get it right. Push that input till I'm usually getting about 5 dB of reduction, especially here where I'm just talking, right? I'm going to push the input till I get about 5 dB of reduction. So that again is going to allow that vocal to cut in, feel nice and present and punchy, and then control it, right? Allow it to feel a little bit controlled, and it's going to move very, very fast on the release. Now, second to that, I have another stage now I just want to smooth it out. Now I just want now that it's punchy and I've grabbed it and I've all of those peaks that are coming through, I've let it come through a little bit, but I've told it to sit down, right? That vocal's a little bit more even now. Then I usually add, again, you can literally do this with stock plugins with just a much slower release, right? In this case, I'm going to a massive engineer meetup in Nashville. I can't remember where you are. I'm in San Antonio, Tom. I'm in San Antonio. I know there's a lot of people in Nashville. I know there's a lot of people in Nashville. That's fun. Then I add the LA2. The LA2 is much slower. You can see on the meter right here. So when I say a word, see how slow that release is? Yo, it moves a lot slower going back after that peak, right? So this is going to help smooth out. This is going to help smooth out the rest of the vocal right there and once it's grabbed it, told it to come back, now you're going to hear it kind of hold on to that tail a little bit and keep it controlled. Same thing on here. I'm typically getting about 5 dB of reduction. You can see on the meter right there, most of my vocal here as just a voiceover right here is about 4 or 5 dB of reduction, right? Those two in tandem, those two in sequence right there allow my vocal, and I say this and I do this all the time. Let me bring this back here. I say this all the time and we talk about it fairly often. It allows me to talk really quiet, right? So I can I'm not going to change my proximity either, right? Just in real life with the hardware, I got to. I wish I had the hardware. I'm going to have a Lindell 76 in here pretty soon. But I can talk really quiet, right? Like this is like vocal fry, whisper. And you hear how it still sounds like forward. It's punchy, right? Like, and I'm like whispering, and I'm not going to change my proximity, but I can also talk really loud, right? I can yell. Sorry, I apologize in advance. I can yell, and I can talk really, really loud, right? Or I can whisper. I can talk right here. And what's crazy is I'm not changing my proximity, but yet my quiet voice feels forward and smooth and controlled. And my loud voice feels very smooth. You hear the change in energy in the vocal, but you're not getting this massive burst in amplitude out of the vocal. That's what I want out of your vocal. Because right now your vocal is allowed to push really, really strong. So it's clipping within the plugin and maybe potentially within your preamp as well. And it's also allowed to like fall back in the mix, right? So like if you just start to sing really quiet, then the instrumentation takes over and then your vocal just falls into the background of the mix, right? So I want you to have those multiple stages to actually allow you to have like control over your dynamic range so that you can sing naturally, keep, you know, a reasonable proximity in your vocal when you're tracking, because you're tracking on a decent microphone. It's like not my favorite, but I have a 102. I just don't like it. I'm going to sell it. But it's literally like, it's going to give you so much more life and vibrancy out of your vocal and keep it at the forefront of your mix, so you don't have to worry so much about like your amplitude, right? It's going to give you a lot more control. Okay. We're literally made to prevent, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the low end TLM series. I think they're a name. I think most people buy them because they're a Neumann. I bought my 102 because it was a Neumann, not because it was good, and I regret it. I literally haven't used it in probably like, I probably haven't used the Neumann in like a year and a half or something like that. Well, I've used this Neumann all the time. But I don't ever use it. I don't ever use it because it's super bright. It's super brittle. Sibilance is terrible with it. So usually what happens, even if I have like proper diffusion and proper angling and stuff like that, and like, you know, a pop filter and all that stuff, it still is very, very sibilant forward. It's gritty, it's brittle, it's bright. Don't love it. And so what it is good for, that I do use it for occasionally, would be like acoustic guitars. If I have a parlor acoustic guitar, a Gretsch parlor acoustic guitar over here. I use them on like if I need like a nice bright acoustic guitar, I think it's good for that. I use it on drum rooms sometimes. So if I put this mic, I can even open up this other door over here. I'll put it on the room. So if I want like a nice bright reflective space, I can help with that. I also like it on like airy female vocals. So like if I have a vocal that I'm working with and it's like a bright, airy female vocal, it can complement that pretty decently. It can complement that pretty decently. But 99 times out of 100, I'm just going to this mic right here. And it's so much better. I like the AT2020 better. Honestly, I wouldn't like disagree with that necessarily. A lot of cheap mics over exaggerate their frequency profile so that when you plug it, it sounds good right off the bat. And that's, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate it. So that's, you know, one of the issues with a lot of the low end microphones, but man, get you a Lewitt, get you a Loudwin, like get you an LA320, sell the 103 for, you know, you could probably sell it for $600. You know, I know you bought it for $1,200, with the whole pack. You could probably sell it for $500 to I see them on Marketplace every day. I've seen 103s for like $500 and they've been on there for months. People still don't want them for that cheap. Sometimes it's annoying. But I would, sell the one, get an LA320, get a nice tube microphone, get an LA320, get a Lewitt Pure tube for $1,000. Get LA320, $700 new. You can find them used for $600. Like, it's just going to change your world. It's so much smoother. Yeah. Loudwin Audio LA320. I have a couple of Loudwins in here. I've used it before. I recommend the LA320 to so many people that are looking for a budget tube microphone. Like I said, they're about $700 new. You can find them for $600 on Reverb or eBay or something like that, or maybe Marketplace. They're a little bit more, they're not super popular. So you might not find them on Marketplace, but yeah, $700. It's going to be smoother. It's a tube microphone, so it is going to warm up your vocal a little bit. It's not going to be nearly as shrill. It's still bright, still pretty bright microphone, but you're going to get that a little bit of that shaving, that carving, and that warmth that's going to happen because of the tubes. I think it's half the price, almost half the price of a TLM 103, and I would recommend it to anybody over that microphone. Anyways, side note. Okay, let's get into this outro here really quick, because I think like the main thing is we need compression control. We need to make sure that that's in the place that you want it to be, and we need to retrack the lead vocal. Make sure you're not clipping outboard, and then of course make sure you're not clipping within your plugins. Make sure that you're gain staging properly. 102 or 103 are decent drum and acoustic mics. Terrible. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I basically just repeated what you're saying there. So yeah, beautiful. I love that. Siphon, any genre. Compressor, a little different. Clipping the input. Yep. You could have hooked you up. Wait, what do you have, Time Mine? What do you have? Talk to me or shoot me a DM. All right, let me get into this outro here real quick. Got you, Derek. Got you. See? Like there's some vocals happening there that they just don't have the support to stay forward in the mix and actually have the life that you want it to have. And then you're getting too much breakup, too much clicking or clipping, right? Where that's just hitting the ceiling, and it's just completely breaking apart the top end right there. And so I would love to get that cleaned up again, because you have a frustratingly good vocal for how low quality this sounds, especially recording into a $1,300 mic, right? Like this should sound really clean, really clear. I mean, obviously it should sound very bright being with what you're tracking with, and it sounds suppressed. It sounds broken apart at the top end. And so I want to make sure that that sounds as open as you want it to be. Because the potential is all there, man. You're such an incredible artist, great producer, great musician. So I want you to squeeze this song for all that it's worth, man. 100%. Derek, I got you, man. I'm going to close the lines here in a second. Hooked up with a distribution company that handles like 7 brands globally. Ooh, dang. Let's go. I know I was going to just pick up maybe a couple of items. I'm getting a rack. So I have a rack that I'm picking up tomorrow. It's a 46U commercial server rack that I need to support here in the studio. But that's going to be filled with synths. I'm going to have 46U of rack synths. I don't have all of that set up yet, but that's what I'm going to pick up out of town tomorrow because some guy's going to give it to me for like $20. He's like, I need this gone. He lives out in the middle of literally nowhere. And so I need to go pick up this 46U rack. It's going to be full of synths. But anyways, that aside, but I want to pick up a couple other outboard items here to fit with that. So I'm looking at the Lin. I'm looking at a couple other options to fill in the rack that I have here next to my desk as well. Okay, let's get into it. Let's close this up. I gotta move on. I mean, you're talented, man. You're very, 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 very talented. Y'all show some love to Nate Holmes right here in the chat. Show some love to Nate Holmes right here in the chat, man. Love and appreciate what you do so much, man. You're wildly talented, such a good musician, such a good producer, a really incredible vocalist. And so that's kind of the pain point that I'm feeling is like you have such amazing support of your vocal, but then also you're lacking the clarity and separation because of the processing or even just some of the stuff that's happening before conversion, right? Before it actually hits the DAW. So man, massive, massive props to you. I absolutely love what you do, man. You're amazingly, amazingly talented. Buddha, what type of headphones are those? These are Focal Clear MGs. Y'all show some love. Let's keep it moving. I got to move pretty quick. We've got Derek Bennett. Let me get you up here. Let's get Derek Bennett. And I'm going to go ahead and close the lines, I believe. Buddha, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Dun, dun, dun. All right, y'all. Last 2 songs. Of course, man. Absolutely. Anytime. Genuinely love what you do, man. Seriously. Super inspiring when I hear your production structures. They're so organic. They're so interesting to listen to. So I absolutely love it, man. Okay, let's get into it. Adatia, welcome in. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thanks for tapping into the stream. I appreciate it. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to follow, of course, follow on our red and purple app as well. We're live on all 3 platforms. We got Derek Bennett in the building. We got R3trac. I'm going to go ahead and probably close the line after this next track. Let me just confirm a couple things just really, really quick. Really quick. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's get into it. We got Derek Bennett. This is What a Friend. This is just an instrumental. This is a cinematic remake of the old gospel hymn, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Beautiful. Vocals coming soon, as well as Dark Live Choir. Let's go, Siphon. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. Hey, Siphon, you as well. I really appreciate you being here. My day's been fantastic. It's been very productive. I've gotten a ton done. I've been working on projects all day and working here in the studio, and it's been amazing. It's been a very productive day, and tomorrow I plan on it being the same. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll potentially be live tomorrow. I'm not positive. I'm going to try to be. It's going to be a long day. I've got like 4 hours of driving tomorrow. So, to go pick up this rack. So we'll see what I have time for. But I'm going to do my best to be alive, at least for a little bit like I did tonight. All right. This is What a Friend, the remix by Derek Bennett right here in the chat. It's downloading right now. Give it just a second. And then I'll close up the line after this track. Don't, ba-da-da. Give me 1 second. While this is downloading, I'm gonna go check the food real quick. I'll be back in a second. So hang on, Derek. beautiful. Okay, switched over. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. We got Derek Bennett in the building. Hopefully this is downloaded. Let's check. And it is not. Why is it not downloaded? Hold on. What's going on? Okay, we'll give it a sec. Sometimes it's I need to clear up some storage, so we'll give it just a moment to download. It should do it in just a second. I think it's just because it's a wave. Super excited for this track. I'm working on an album of redoing him cinematic. Dude, I love that. That's a great idea. Even content-wise, it's like, practically speaking, that's a fantastic idea. I love that. Come on, dude. Lovers T, welcome in, Lovers T. I appreciate you being here. Is happening here? Come on. Let me check something. Rob, thank you for tapping into the stream. Okay, so I know. Knowing your productions, I can only imagine. Let me check something on here. I don't know why it's not downloading at all. Oh no, we're fine on storage. Hold on, let me try it from a different screen here while this isn't loading up. What do you do during a live broadcast like this? Oh, so what we do is we're doing consultations for artists, producers, musicians, songwriters, vocalists, whatever it may be, engineers. We're spending about 20 to 30 minutes diving into the details of the structure of their song, whether it's the mix, production, sound design, lyric, and song structure. We're getting into the nuances of what they're doing practically and, of course, creatively as well, to see if we can offer them some actionable, specific feedback on the structure of their music. So we do spend about 20 to 30 minutes per artist or producer that sends in their music, and listen to the track usually 2 or 3 different times to really get into those details, and hopefully offer them some tools that'll help them out. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, man. Give me a sec. This is not downloading, and it should. I never have issues with this, and I checked, and I have storage. So I was like, wait, what's going on here? I mean, let me see. Discovery Radio. Welcome in. Let me see it if it'll. I mean, I played in the email fine. The thing with playing it in the email is it gets choppy. So I'm gonna play it in the email, but it might give me some issues. I'm not sure why it's not downloading. That's a problem for another day. So let's see what's going on here.
It's time for Derek Bennett. This summer, what a friend he has in Jesus. One man, one cross.
Yeah, this doesn't sound anything like you're so correct. Love the arpeggios though. Let's go. Really like the movement on the strings. I can imagine, man. Angel, welcome in. Love the structure. Love the structure. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Seb with the hoodie. Thank you so much for tapping in. We are actually, I was going to say right after the song, we are closing the live because I only have time for one more track after this. So make sure that you're following Seb, and I will open up the line. If I'm able to go live tomorrow, I will open up the lines again for more consultations. It was very short and sweet today. I've been working through stuff all day, so it's been a little bit more short and sweet the last couple days as I've tried to get through some projects. So definitely tap in. Either tomorrow or Sunday, and I'll try to go live again and open up the line for some fresh consultations. I would love to hear what you got. I love anytime that we're able to hear some other genres, other languages and stuff like that. It makes me so happy, just from different places around the world. It's amazing. I love that part of this live stream. Show some love to Derek Bennett, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's run it back from the top, and then we're going to close it up at 3trac. Let me go ahead and close the line over here real quick. Give me just 2 seconds. Boom, boom, ba-da-dum-dum, boom, closed. I feel like I get more people requesting music after I say close somehow, but whatever, we'll do it regardless. Okay, let's clear this, and then let's put closed over here. But yeah, if y'all want to submit, just make sure that y'all are following, and then we'll open everything back up tomorrow. All right, let's run it, Derek. Absolutely, Seb, 100%, absolutely. Love the weight of this intro too. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. I really like this intro structure. I really do. I think this first part, it needs some clarification. I know this is going to go to an engineer, but it needs some clarification. Some of the low end's a little bit muddy. I'm not worried about that. I know that's going to be taken care of just because I know obviously the structure of what you do so well. So I'm not going to talk too much about the mixing structure just because I know you're already going to go down that route. We could use some clarification in the low, mids, and lows that obviously you can kind of keep your eye out on. What's up, Colt Graves? Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing amazing. Outcast, welcome in as well. Thank you for joining the live. Appreciate you being here. But I really do like this intro structure, just the feel of it, the anticipation, the cinematic elements that you have there, I think are beautifully done. They're really, really well structured. Let's run it. Let's run it. Back this up a little bit. The thing that I want to be careful of, right? And again, we've talked a little bit about this in the past as well. One of the things that I want you to be careful of is making sure there's not too much energy in any element of the song for too long, right? In this case, I'm listening for that low end, right? Like 100 hertz and below, 200 hertz and below, where you have a lot of low end build up. Again, not even talking about the mix necessarily, but what you have in the production structure that I think if is always there, then you have this like really big, Kojak, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for that. You have this really, really thick energy from 200 hertz and below, right? It just makes it muddy and boomy. I would probably recommend on your 1, 2, 3, 4, like second measure of every progression that you do on those verses, maybe that you pull the bass, right? So kind of, I was like, wait, where's my piano? What am I playing here? What am I clicking? What's going on? Where's my piano? There's my piano. So right now you're on the B, right? So on this low section down here, right? When you're going into this verse, let me find where it is. Something to give respect for the headphones. Thank you helping me pay for them. I appreciate that so much. Thanks for tapping in, man. I really appreciate you. So like right in here. You know what I mean? Like give it a little bit of a gap. So if you're going to bring like a low sub bass and this like rolling bass or reese bass or something like that, if you're going to create a ton of energy and a ton of prominence in the low end, there has to be a reprieve from it. There's got to be like some relief away from that low end. Otherwise it will just sound boomy a lot of the time, right? So having like this low sub, right? And then emptying it out for the next measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. right? Giving a little bit of a break from some of the energy I feel is necessary because you have a lot of it before it, and then you go into your hooks, which also has a ton of that low end energy. And if it's always there, then it loses its impact a little bit. But if you have like some strategic moments where you pull away low end energy, you give it a little bit of a break, you're gonna really feel that energy when it comes back in. If it's always there, then it's cool for a moment. Like you hear it hit and you're like, oh damn, that's great. After a little while, you fatigue from it and it just feels big. It just feels, subby and boomy and a little bit muddy too. It'll just be harder to mix too. So being very strategic with the way that you introduce that low end, I think is going to be really important. And then like maybe here you can open it up, like maybe here you go a little bit more strict, but again, just be really strategic with where and why you bring in those low end elements. The other thing that I would say, and then we'll move a little bit farther deeper into the song. Oh, that's why I was playing. I was like, why did I have the bass on here for a second? But I realized why just now. Let me go back to this Jupiter that I have here. I would love a bit of texture on your layers in the low a little bit here. Everything's very, and again, this is beyond the mix. This is sound design choice. Everything's very like pointed. So you have your strings, you have like pianos, you have choir. The drums are doing exactly what the drums do. The bass is like sine wave sub, really, really dry right down the middle, right? So the actual like, there's not a lot of like coloration. There's not a lot of like harmonics in a lot of what you're doing here because a lot of them are doing the same melodies and holding on the same root note. I would love that little bit of texture and grit and chorusing and frequency rub and like and distortion. I mean, this is a little nasty, but it gives it some weight. It gives it some texture. I would have something, if you want to keep the sub bass, I would have something just above that gives you a little bit of texture and character. We need something that's not too pure and too straightforward and too linear. We need something that has a little bit of texture and character to it, a little bit of color to it. So I would definitely like layer. So like when we get in here, Doug, thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. We are closed for today. We're closed for today, but I will probably be on tomorrow night. It'll be later, tomorrow evening sometime, for even just like a couple hours. So if you want to submit then, just definitely make sure that you're following. We'll open up the lines again. We'll get a bunch of new people up here for consultations, and then we'll keep it moving. Outcast, thank you for the heart me. Sorry, I just missed that. Thank you so much for the heart me, Outcast. I appreciate you a lot. But yeah, close for today, but we'll open it up again tomorrow. So like here in this big breakdown here, it's gonna get me. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. That little bit of texture, a little bit of character right there, to me goes a long ways to making this feel a little bit more vibrant and not so on the nose, right? Guitars could help a little bit with this too, but yeah, break up the signal a little bit, break it up a little bit, introduce some harmonics, and I think it'll just feel a little bit more vibrant. Go back to my piano. Like here even. Kind of missing all of that. Pause. There we go. It's missing all of that like middle range, right? Those harmonics, a little bit of those mids. It's heavy down here. It's snappy and slicey up here. Good openness to your panning structure. But the middle part of that, I just want to introduce some life and some movement there. That's where it feels. The vocal will do some of it. The vocal, the vocal is going to fill out a little bit more of the middle of that mix for sure. But not even just frequency wise, but just texture wise, right? It's like if everything's it's like you're eating something where everything's too smooth. Like I like a variety of textures, like I like a couple different textures in my meal, right? If everything's just like, pudding all the way through. It's like I want some different textures and some different kind of feeling, right? It's kind of the same thing here. Like I want some, the drums snap through nice and sharp, but as far as like the frequencies go, as far as like the color of the signal goes, everything's pretty straightforward. I want to mess that up a little bit more, so it feels a little darker, a little bit more energetic. But the actual like production structure that you have here, I think is really cool. It's very cinematic. It's really nicely done. Y'all, show some love, man. Show some love to Derek Bennett. This is great, man. I'm so intrigued with how you are going to make this the song that you're about to make it, because I obviously can't really hear it. Like, it's such an interesting, it's going to be What a Friend, right? Like, that's a very different, what's up, Dan? Good to see you. That's a very different interpretation of this song. So I'm very intrigued with how you're going to build out that, like, very bright and major vocal melody into such a dark cinematic piece. That's going to be really interesting. So I'm very excited to hear the next phase of this production structure, man. It's going to be very, very interesting. Y'all give it up one more time for yeah, I'm excited. That's cool. That's really cool. Dan, it has been a while, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you for joining the stream again, man. It's always great to see some of the OGs hop in the stream, man. Really, really fun. It was probably when I brought it together. Yeah, beautiful, dude. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for how you're going to work that out. It's really cool. Okay, let's hold on. All right, let's close it out. R3trac, hop in the chat. This is going to be our last song for the day. Like I said, I'll be on, if I can, I'll be on tomorrow evening. Once I get back into town, it's going to be a pretty long day for me, so I don't know what I'll do. It might be another live like today, where it's like a little bit short and sweet. But I will be live, probably for a little bit if I can. I'll try. I'll do my best. We got R3trac in the building, so let me pull up this track. This is what we're going to close it up on. Let me see, where's R3trac's song here? There's R3trac's song. Beautiful. Idris in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Y'all keep tapping the screen, share out the live, and we'll close up the live here in just a second. And then we'll be on again tomorrow. All right, it's got really bright all of a sudden. Let me see. Let's see if this one will download. I don't know. Yeah, this one downloaded perfectly. Maybe just because it's an MP3. All right, this is called Bokaza. Am I saying that correctly? I might be butchering that. But this is R3trac Beats. This is a reggaeton beat that he made. You know the deal. It's been a while since I've heard a R3trac beat. I love hearing a R3trac beat. If you need beats, reach out to R3trac. That's the family. We love you, man. It's so dope to hear another track from you. Hope all is well, man, as much as it can be these days. Let's get into it. This is Bokaza in A sharp minor. Let's dive in. Lovski, welcome in.
Hey, yo, R3trac. You know the deal.
Let's go. Y'all, show some love to the family. Show some love, show some love, show some love. That is R3trac Beats. If you like what you hear, I need y'all to reach out to R3trac, show some love and support to the family. He sells beats. He makes beats in a lot of different styles, especially electronic styles. So if you like hip-hop, trap beats, EDM, lo-fi, house across the board, he's working through some reggaeton right now, which is beautiful. I absolutely love it, man. You're incredibly, incredibly versatile. So I'm excited for what you're going to do with this. Let me get this opened up. Beautiful. There's our track. It doesn't need to be that crazy. What the hell? Yeah, let's bring it back right there. There we go. But y'all, please show some love to R3trac. This is beautiful, man. I like it a lot. I'm going to work through some stereo imaging stuff and just talk through a couple things. So let's go ahead and just really quick. Let's switch over here really briefly. Boom. There we go. And then really quick, Rubes, how do I send you to R3trac? It is at my profile and the link, but we are closed. I just switched it so it doesn't say it anymore, but we are closed for today. I said it on the other screen. We're closed for today, but make sure that you're following. We'll be live again probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Sunday. So definitely make sure that y'all are following. If I do go live, it'll be in the evening. So definitely tap in then. We'll open up the lines again. Let's break this down, R3trac. Let's drop it into Pro Tools really quick, like we did. And I want to listen for a couple things. I'm going to go ahead and throw on I'm going to go into here and we're going to throw on, I want to get into our spectroscope here as well. What am I doing? My brain's not working. What are we doing? What are we talking out here? Yeah, I'm backwards. Let's drop ozone on here. I just want to get into some of the profile here, some of the imaging, and then we'll get out of here. All right, let's get our imager on here, and then we'll look at the not the spectroscope. What else? What am I talking about? Spectroscope. Okay, let's dive in, man. Obviously, first synth that you have in here is no chorusing, no stereo chorusing or anything like that. So it's completely mono, right? So we're gonna look at a couple of these different elements as they kind of come in, and you'll see in the sample right here in the middle that it's completely in mono, right? You'll be able to see right down the middle. There's a singular line that's showing us a mono signal, and we're gonna look for that and a couple other elements here in the production. Off topic, of course, for after this video is complete, would you recommend
Hey, yo, R3trac.
That like producer tag right there is like the most stereo information you get out of this track. Pro Tools or Logic for complete beginners. It kind of, you're not gonna like this answer, but it kind of depends. It's like, do you like Samsung or Apple? They're different interfaces that largely do the same kinds of things. They just have different priorities, right? If you are doing a lot of like vocal comping and mixing and mastering and stuff like that, then I think Pro Tools, Studio One, those are some of the best today. If you are biasing heavy towards production, you're doing a lot of sample chopping, signal manipulation, and stuff like that, then Ableton, FL Studio are probably going to be the priorities for that. If you want something that's great, a little bit all in all, I think Logic, Studio One, Pro Tools, they do a little bit of everything really well. I've used Pro Tools since I was like 12 years old, so I'm very familiar with it. I've used it professionally for years and years and years, well over a decade. So it's, for me, it's a no-brainer that it's the interface that I'm used to, that I'm the fastest in, that I'm the most efficient and creative in. But I've also used all of the other DAWs. You're starting using GarageBand. If you're starting using GarageBand, I would definitely, and you're newer, I would definitely recommend Logic because it is the same interface, largely, just more options. You'll just go to add an instrument and there will be a lot more better quality instruments. It's just GarageBand on steroids. So if you are currently using GarageBand and you're like, how do I go to the next level? Logic is going to be an easy way for you to do that, and also a much more affordable way. I spend about, like $400 a year on Pro Tools every year. So, over the last, 3 years, I've spent $1,200 on Pro Tools for every, as it updates and stuff like that. That's very expensive. Now they have cheaper ones. If you're not doing a lot of production, they have a $10 a month one that gives you like 16 tracks or 32 tracks and 64 MIDI tracks or something like that. But for what I do when I'm doing a lot of mixing and mastering, I'm doing a lot of like really heavy productions with a lot of tracks. I pay about $37 a month or whatever it is for Pro Tools Studio. And that gets pretty expensive. Logic is $200. It's $200 and then you're done, and you get unlimited updates and upgrades for as long as Logic exists in that capacity. that's probably a much more palatable thing for most people than paying $37 a month for Pro Tools. But again, it depends on your priorities. It depends. Like I do a lot of vocal comping. I do a lot of live tracking in here. So I've got, 14, 15 synths in the studio right now. That's only going to get bigger. I'm handling a lot of tracks at once. I've got live drums that I'm miking up and tracking. Like I have a lot more like, just nuance going on at the same time. And then I'm also like mixing projects that are very in depth. So I need something that can handle all of that. And I'm doing a lot of that comping and mixing and playlisting, and Pro Tools is great at that for mixing. So if you are just like, if you're largely an artist, like your priority is like artistry, you just want to like track vocals, mix your own vocals over like a beat someone sends you, or it's a little bit more simple, or you just like, I want to play piano acoustic, do some like indie folky tracks, and it's like, I need like 6 layers here and then a couple vocals, then, something simple is probably the way to go. And you could even do some other options in there. But yeah, I think Logic is probably the most reasonable for you.
Hey, yo, R3trac. You know the deal.
Of course. See, look at that image. All of your drums are in, and all of your stereo information is just coming from a little bit of movement on like the hat and shaker on the outside, right? So you get a little bit of fuzz here, right? A little bit of openness right here. Not much. Synth comes in, same thing. There's all the information right there. So we need to open that up. We need to get that synth, put a chorus on the synth in the background and open it up. Get a little bit more stereo information here, because the beat just feels forward and small. And I want that like the bass even maybe, a little bit of a chorus on that like sine synth in the background right there, which I love. I love all of your sound design, but we just need to open it up quite a bit more. So I start skipping through this. Also in mono. So yeah, that's a lot. So like, even I'm gonna do this the bad way. Don't do it this way. I'm gonna use some. I'm gonna do what I don't ever want you to do. I'm gonna change your stereo image here just to show you. Don't ever do it this way necessarily, especially on a master. I'm gonna do a two-tiered stereo process here. So I'm gonna do low end at 200 hertz and below. 200 hertz and below. I'm going to give it a 5% lift right here, and I'm gonna go kind of crazy on the outside here. And I'm as I'm doing the outside right here, I'm gonna push it pretty far open with a 6 millisecond difference. So I'm gonna stereoize it. We're gonna do version 1, so we take middle information and send it wide. And so in this particular instance, we're gonna open up the stereo image quite a bit and just hear the difference. So what I like about this is only 200 hertz and above is getting pushed dramatically wide through some like mid-side stuff. It's pushing that really, really wide. And the middle channels, 200 hertz and below, your lower end of your kick, it's still pretty close to center. So now if I go to like the big beginning of this.
Hey, yo, R3trac. You know the deal.
That already sounds crazy. So much better. What's up, Paisley? Welcome in. And again, look at the difference. What's that time? It's like dramatic, right? So I think now like your dry signal is really nice. Like the drums that you have, the bass that is there, I love it, right? I would definitely open up some of these elements into stereo. Never do what I'm doing here. I'm just blasting this with an imager with a 6 millisecond switch and blasting it in mid-side to the outside of the mix. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You're gonna have phase issues. This is gonna be horrible. But the difference in the way that like this feels as you punch this up, right here. totally different life, right? So I would probably add like a Studio D chorus or something similar, like a really slow modulation to like in stereo to the bass that you have, because it's grungy, it's grimy, but it needs to feel big. The drums you can open up a little bit, some like stereo saturation. You can push that a little bit and make them feel a little bit more open. The hats are already doing a little bit of work. I think that's great. And then on the high end, whether it's like adding a chorus to one of those elements or double tracking the elements, copy your MIDI down to another. It's like that little like sign that you have at the top, the little sign at the top right there. You could duplicate your mono, but put a different synth on it, and then double track left and right. Even if you're 40%, 20%, just like open it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be the same synth doubled. Sometimes it sounds even better if it's a slightly different synth, but doing the same thing. Maybe you have like that sign pushed to the right, 50%, and then you have something with like a sign in a square moved, 50% to the left with a little bit more portamento and some distortion. And it's like the same signal, but slightly altered with a little bit more punch, and it feels wide and dynamic and punchy. That to me, stuff like that to me would just bring this to life. It would give it a little bit more energy, a little bit more punch, because the difference in stereo here from this to that's a different feel, completely different feel. I mean, there's room for a vocal on this. There's plenty of space for an artist. Like the potential's all there. Love your sound design. I love the feel. It's like simple, but it should be, like it's very simple. There's plenty of space for an artist or multiple artists to get on here. You do have some structure for like a verse and a breakdown from the filtered drums to another hook and stuff like that. Like I think most of what you got going on here is really, really well structured. Your sound design is consistent with the genre. It's really well formatted. I just want to get a little bit more life out of the production. So let me just hear the outro. To me, that's like it. That's like it. And then it's just like getting a vocal and finding out where you need to build and change your dynamics. But your sound design itself is really nice. It's just how it's positioned in the mix and like how it, is affected in the stereo field that I want you to address so that this feels super punchy. Did you want me to DM? Yeah, shoot me a DM. For anything. Anything. I forget why. I talk so much that I forget why. But sure, definitely. I don't know if it was about the distribution thing you were talking about earlier, about when I was talking about getting the Lindell stuff. Any other stereo imagers like Ozone? That's the one that I've used for... Oh, yeah. Shoot me a message. Let's talk. Yeah, let me know. Because the thing... Yeah, what was I going to... Yeah, let me know. Yeah, shoot me a message. The thing with the Lindells is that they're so cheap. They're like $300, which is super cheap. Any other stereo imagers like Ozone? That's the only one. I really don't use stereo imagers too often at all. I prefer to do like just kind of strategic mid-side processing within FabFilter. That can help you carve some space in the middle, shoot some frequencies to the outside, and give you a little bit of openness right there. So Ozone's really the only one that I ever really go to. I mean, there's a bunch. Like, let me throw this back real quick. I'll just do it on TikTok alone. Or no, I'll do it over here too, sorry. Like I can just go here. In my sound field here. Yeah, I mean, like I have all of these. I have S360 here. S1 is another imager. Let me see what S1's got here. So yeah, you can do left, right. You can do mid side on here. There's not a ton of controls on S1. XSplit here. Yeah, I mean, there's some different plugins on here that have different split points and different frequency shapers and stuff like that. I'm just not the most familiar. Because I don't. If I am using an imager, I like the separation and control. The multi-band control of using Ozone if I'm doing it. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, shoot me a message, Time. Shoot me a message, 100%. So that's what I use, but I would just look up, you want to have multi-band control. So that's what you're looking for. So based on all of the imagers that you have, look at multi-band control. That's what I want you to look at. So I haven't dived into like the Waves ones or any of like if UAD has any. I haven't dove into because I haven't needed to. I haven't, had to touch them really. So I just use Ozone if I need an imager because it's multi-band. I could have 4 different frequencies, 4 different frequency zones, and like keep 100 hertz and below or 60 hertz and below completely in mono, and go to 100 to 400 and push it 4%. Go to this and push it a little bit here, and I could do all of that within one synth. You know what I mean? Like I could have 4 bands within one synth to just create this really interesting image. So that's what I like Ozone for. I know it's expensive, but that's what I like Ozone for. How do you feel about 500 series? I like 500 series. I don't have any with me right now. I used to have them in a different studio. I like 500 series. I've been thinking about getting a 1073 500. I'm going to try to trade a guy for one. I want to get a 1073 and a 312 in here in 500 series and put them in my rack. I don't have a ton of rack space down here, but I'm looking to do that. I have a hookup on so many things. 500, yeah, dude. I might be interested. I gotta see. I gotta trade some stuff out of the studio first, probably. But yeah, so just what you're looking for, R3trac, is multi-band stereo processing. Multi-band stereo processing is the crux of what you're trying to get out of what I'm talking about here. And that'll help open up a lot of what you're doing here. But it also just like adding stereo information. So if there's a mono synth, adding a stereo chorus on it, adding, a stereo reverb on an aux or something like that, and feeding some stereo information so it doesn't feel too right down the nose here. Let me hear the outro really quick and then we'll hop off the live. Let me see. Why isn't it playing? Here we go.
Hey, yo, R3trac. You know the deal.
Play it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's nice. It's nice. Yeah, it's a really cool structure, R3trac. It really is. Stereo image to me is everything. It's punchy. Your sound design is good. It's true to the genre. But yeah, we just got to find some creative ways, some interesting ways to open up that field through your processing, through what you're doing overall in the structure of the beat, positioning, right? Because it could be as simple as just putting one of those synths over here, double tracking another one over here, and then of course just natural, like phasing, phasers, flangers, chorus, modulation, stereo modulation will help pretty dramatically to open up some of these other signals in here and make it feel a little bit more interesting and a little bit more, unique as far as like the sound design. It doesn't feel too dry, too pointed, and too locked into mono. Man, y'all show some love to the family. R3trac. It's so good to hear your productions, man. So good. R3trac's the family. If you like what you hear, I need you to reach out to R3trac. If you want a producer, you want to work with someone who's growing their business as a producer, who sells beats all the time, then definitely show some love and support to R3trac. You can see him. You can drop over to TikTok again if you want to, R3trac, so people can follow you. Shoot them a message. They're working all the time, so definitely show some love and support to R3trac. That's the family, one of the OGs. It's a mod here in the community. We love and appreciate you right there in the chat. Show them some love and support. That's gonna do it for today, y'all. I'm gonna hop off here. I'll be live maybe a little bit tomorrow, not positive. But if you are, let me see, interested in submitting, just make sure that you're following on TikTok. Make sure you're following on Twitch. Make sure you're subbed on YouTube, so on and so on. Make sure that you're locked in, and we'll make sure that we're right there with you. Time Mine, thank you for tapping in today. I appreciate you so much, man. Quick spiel before we hop off. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I do work full time as an audio engineer, producer, and session musician. So if you are ever interested in full production packages, mix and mastering engineer, or if you're ever interested in session work, I do a lot of synthesis. So I've got a bunch of synths in here. If you need analog hardware synths on your records, if you need live drums, I've got them here in the studio, electric, acoustic, and bass guitars, vocals. If you need any session work, let me know. Shoot me a message. We can talk about your project. Make sure it's a good fit. Make sure that we can work within your budget and timeline. And I would love to help you bring your vision of your records to life. So I love and appreciate y'all. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you. Pretty much. Hopefully y'all have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see y'all soon. Peace.